Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is Scott Bogman, and it's you, and it's all about Monday Night Football tonight. It's got an NFC West matchup attached to it. It's the Los Angeles Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, the 49ers are home. They are just 2-point favorites in this one. The number is 42. And Bogman, outside of last year's playoffs, it's safe to say the 49ers have been the Rams' daddy for the last few years.
Yeah, that's true. But I think we're in a different situation this year. You know what the NFL stands for, Joey? Not for long. And I think we're going to get a different result today.
All right. Well, why is that? Why do you think it's a different result today? What about it for you?
Well, look, I know Jimmy G has been the captain of this ship for a while now, right? But this was not the plan at all. And you can see the rust. Not letting him practice, not letting him be around the team really at all. He had to have separate trainers throughout the entire preseason process. And we never expected him to really get involved. It wasn't until right before the season started, they decided, all right, we're not going to trade him. So now he's going to be a part of this. And obviously Trey Lance with the broken ankle and the surgery and all that stuff. And now we're back to Jimmy G. This just was not the plan. So you design a whole entire offense around a different quarterback and you go right back to the quarterback that you had last season. So you can see the rust. You can see the miscommunication. Did you see the lip reading of Jimmy G last week of all your plays suck? Talking to Kyle Shanahan. So,
well, I thought they were all the same play. Wasn't it quick slant, quick slant, quick slant? I always thought that was just
like
Kyle Shanahan
playing a new person in Madden. They find that one play and they go after it. So I do not like what I've seen from Jimmy G and the Niners offense so far. So I'm going to be on the Rams side. Rams getting points. Okay. This feels a lot like, to me, like the Cardinals being road underdogs against Carolina. Carolina is awful. Yes, they got to win, but who cares? They're still a terrible team. I don't think the Niners are terrible, but I also don't think the Rams are as bad as they've played. So,
okay, well, let's talk about the Rams a second. Why don't you think they're as bad as they've played so far? Because they haven't been great. Cooper Kupp coming off his worst game in recent memory. And again, it's just 1 week. We don't want to hyperventilate. In terms of health, relatively healthy, but another offense that seems to be kind of, as you were talking about, the 49ers finding its way a little bit. And that's kind of odd because they were in such a groove last year, it felt like, at a certain point. But they seem to me to be a team a little disjointed. And last year, the Rams were a team that took a lot of lumps. And I feel like everybody forgets that because they ended up winning the Super Bowl. But this was a team that barely grazed by Tom Brady. They barely grazed by the 49ers, and then they barely grazed by the Bengals at the end of the day too. Now, I'm not taking anything away from them, but I feel like there's this odd Super Bowl hangover when it comes to the Rams, where they're not as good as I think some people give them credit for. I think this game is very much in play for the 49ers, especially because of that defense that they have. But what is it about the Rams that you've seen so far, your evaluation of them?
So from what I've seen from the Rams, the biggest issue is the offensive line. And the offensive line is a fixable issue most of the time. There are going to be, if Noteboom is just a bad tackle, then they're going to have problems all year. I don't know that he's a bad tackle, but he's playing bad right now. It's the old Moneyball thing, where is he a good hitter? Yeah. Well, if he's a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good? That's the whole thing. But I think the line needs time to gel. There's been a lot of replacement there. We see, like, Sean McVay seems indecisive this year, which he never is. This is a guy that memorizes every play, knows everything about everything. He sees all the angles, and he seems way more indecisive than he has been in the past, which I think is an issue too. So is it Akers? Is it Henderson? Because our priority should be get the ball to Cooper Kupp, and that is still the priority. And the weakness of the Niners defense is the secondary and coverage. But if you can't keep those guys off the line, if you can't keep Matt Stafford from wearing Nick Bosa the whole night, it is going to be a long night for the Rams. So I'm staying away. I actually haven't laid any money in this game yet. I will put some money on some props, but as far as the line goes straight, nope. I do like the Rams. If I'm picking someone, I like the under if I'm picking that, but this is a stay away from me.
I'm going to go against the chalk of the under. Everybody loves the under this game. I'm going to go the over. I think it's going to be a surprising one. I think this is one of those where the 49ers, I think, have some unfinished business here with the Rams from last year. I think this one hurts a little bit from last year, and I'm going to go again, try to bring the football back to fantasy football. I try to bring the football back to betting pros. And I see Ty is hanging out with us watching the show. And he says, Joey P doing betting pros too? Let's go. Yeah, where you been? I just every single week on Monday morning, I do the podcast for the Look Ahead show. Go check it out. It's me, it's Friedman, it's Fitz. It's a fantastically fun show, 45 minutes of looking ahead to the week. 2 weeks ago, I gave you the Carolina Panthers, +3 to bet, and I bet it, and I won money. I told everybody else to bet it too. So just saying, we got some stuff here.
Joe, did I tell you about my college week, by the way?
Oh, by the way, yes. Before we get into it, drop the knowledge because Bogman's doing the college betting show. I mean, drop the knowledge. How good were you in the college betting show this week?
8-2. This is my best week of the last 2 years. Meatball. 8-2, and I was all like, it was funny because the two I lost were both on Friday. And they were my first 2 bets of the week, and I was like,
"That's the worst." You're like, this could be a long weekend.
Yeah, I started 1-2, and I'm like, yikes! And then I hit everything on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, I've been 7-3 3 weeks, 8-2 this week. 5-5 was my worst week. So we've been 500 or better for 5 straight weeks, and we're
getting it done here.
What would that be? 18 games over 500 with doing 50 games. So all right, I like it.
So I'm on the over on this game. Bogman's on the under. The Rams are at +108 on the money line. I'm sticking with the 49er side of this one, and then again the -2.
I like that we're on the opposite side. It's gonna make maybe you and I have a side bet or something. Maybe we'll do it that way. That'll be fun.
Perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a little action on the side, a little side piece.
What would be worse, making you shave something or making you grow your hair out?
Shave. I mean, look, it's already growing on the side a little bit. See,
I
got the Statham going today. It's the Jason Statham I got going.
The Statham,
or Claudio Castagnoli.
You gotta go see one of your cousins to take care of all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens every single season. It's like I'm clean shaven week 1, and then by the time week 4 and 5, it's just I've lost the will to live. I'm in it. But it never gets out of control because then it gets, I don't know, I just can't let it go. Who knows? Maybe this will be the year I let it go and we get freaky with it. Let's get freaky with some props. Yeah. Let's start with Jimmy G. And you're already trolling Jimmy Garoppolo in this one. The INT number is 0.5. You're going over or under, and you're getting +100 on the over if you do.
Even money, let's go over on that pick. Here's a big part of it, and probably want to do the last one right after this one, Joe, that I have on that list because Trent Williams is out.
I was just going to bring that up too.
McKivitz is going to be their starting left tackle, so good luck, son, is what I would say to him. Jimmy G can be a bit of a statue. Another guy that's been a bit indecisive so far this year, like McVay. So I think he throws at least one pick. May not even be his fault. Could be his fault too, though. It is. I think it's a very good play for this game.
Sinful Saint likes you're picking on Jimmy Garoppolo too. So you're picking on Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're picking up Leonard Floyd on that 0.25 sacks at the +320. That's a heck of a number.
+320. That's why I liked it. I don't know if it was like that last night. Obviously,
was that like that? How did that happen? Well, I think it's always tough to gauge the individual guy. But look, we do the IDP show every week, and I think in terms of we've been pretty good at this too. And we were all over on that show too about the Carson Wentz day that he was going to have the long day at the office against Dallas Cowboys. So hopefully you made some cash on that one. But I
saw at one point it was like Cooper Rush's 126-yard passing and Wentz had 3. And I was like, God, it's just like last week.
And you watch this week, I'm telling you right now, Tennessee is going to go and lay an absolute turd in Washington. And Washington's going to win that game. Mark it. Listen,
they have no pass rush.
Believe me later. Exactly. I'm like the last 2 weeks.
Landry and Bud Dupree got hurt.
Oof. Last 2 weeks of the Commanders is not going to be this game again. And it's classic Titans. You go, you beat the Colts, huge win. Everybody's rocking and rolling. You go on the road, you lay a turd in Washington. You know it's
Titans
coming.
don't match up well against Washington. I think Washington has. They could beat them. So I like that call already.
Let's stick to the Monday night game because we're giving false advertising. We're doing too much today because we're having fun talking football. So we got Leonard Floyd at the 0.25 sacks over the +320 again. Incredible number.
+320. You're tripling up.
320. Triple up.
That was
baby.
on DK. So that's we're tripling up if he gets a sack. And he could get to the quarterback with Aaron Donald, get half, and you're still winning that. So
let's talk about Brandon Ayuk. Because a lot of people would talk about him. 52.5 is the number. You're going to go over or under that receiving yards prop?
I'm going to go over that. And look, I think this is game script, right? We talk about game script a lot. And I think the Niners are going to be down. I think that it'll be passing, specifically late. And, when you look up these Rams corners, I mean, Jalen Ramsey obviously graded out very good, but he's still been targeted 16 times, giving up 10 catches. David Long is out. You're down to Darian Kendrick, who got targeted 16 times last week, gave up 9 catches. And he is the lowest target or reception percentage of any of the corners on this roster. Troy Hill targeted 8 times, giving up 6. 1-for-1 for Robert Rochelle. Grant Haley giving up 5 and 6 targets. So these guys give up catches. So I like receptions. I like yards for Ayuk, because I think if you take Ramsey, you want to put him on Debo. You want to put him on Kittle. You want to give him those matchups for those guys that can absolutely break the game open. Ayuk is good. I don't know that he is a game breaker. So I think he's going to be lined up against the secondary guys and get some catches for it.
All right. Sinful Saints in here saying some good stuff. How you guys feel about Cup and his longest reception being 26.5? Sinful Saint, are you from my neighborhood? How you guys feel? How you doing? 26.5. Actually, I don't tend to like the longest reception kind of stuff, because I always feel like those are a little bit, again, it's like throwing darts a little bit,
It is.
Unless you are in a matchup where you feel like there's a corner you can really exploit, or where you're in that thing where he's going to catch one, rip it off. Also, Cooper Kupp is another one of these big yak guys, as opposed to one of these guys who's really going to go deep and catch a lot of bombs.
I think he has one catch that long this year, by the way. I think he has
I stay away from that. You're from Jersey. He's from Jersey, by the way, Sinful Saint. So there you go. He's from Bayonne. Probably.
I like Bayonne. I like the I like the longest. I do like these longest reception ones. On occasion, like Devin Duvernay is going to pay off every single week for that.
Like guys like that. Yes. I
those are guys that get open deep. Cup is
guys that get open deep. Guys that can separate. It's not that Cup can't separate. He's an incredible route runner, but
he's just better with the ball in his hands.
Yeah. And look, he very well might hit this, but it's not something I like to invest in. I would say stay away from that one. I think this is something you're looking more in the the Justin Jeffersons of the world kind of.
I can tell you, Saint, blow by. This was my instinct when I first looked at the props.
That's another one.
When I first started digging in on the props and looking, I saw 26.5, and I went, I think he's got that. He'll probably smoke somebody on that. And then I started looking at like average time to throw for Matt Stafford. Has Cooper Kupp really done it this year? And he hasn't. So, they're always a coin flip, like Joe said. They're always a coin flip. It's just not what I'm taking tonight.
It's less of a coin flip when you have the Tyreek Hills of the world, the guys that just burn, and Kupp's not that style receiver. He'll do it on technique.
You could also throw it to him 5 yards behind the line.
That's what I mean. He's the guy that's going to do it on technique. But again, then you have to have all the other variables all work out. You got to not get tackled. He's got to be in a good spot.
Cooper does it more on volume, way more on volume.
By the way, Sinful Saint's from South Jersey, so he's almost, maybe he's like down here with it more like the Philly sound. Maybe
shopping at
like
the O.
Maybe
Overstock.
Go to Walmart. Maybe it's always sunny in Philadelphia. Love you, Sinful. Appreciate you hanging out with us today, man. Keep hanging out. So we're here every Monday and Thursday doing this show too. Let's go to the next prop you have here, and we'll get to the rest of your questions. Also, if you have any, drop in the chat. So Ayuk with the over on the 52.5 at minus 125. You like that? So you like the receptions over as well? 4.5 is the number.
Yeah, I like the receptions as well. It's one of my favorite ones. Like I said, these guys give up. They give up in bunches. So Darian Kendrick targeted 16 times last week. I think we're going to see something similar this week. So give me the over on.
Gonna get it over. Gonna go over on it. Get a hoagie and a Coke and go the over. Jeffrey Wilson Jr. over 10.5 receiving yards. You like that over or the under?
I like the over. I love taking advantage of these.
I know you love the little numbers are a great way to make some money. People, it's not like sexy. So, but we've plucked out, I feel like every single Monday we found like, oh, it's the 1.5 rushing yards for, this guy. It's like a joke. All he's got to do is move out of the pocket for 2 seconds.
You have an extra day to game plan. So, if something's not usually in your game plan, you plug in different things too. Plus, once again, I have the Rams winning this game. This is game script. Jeff Wilson takes a short catch and goes 12 yards with it, and you've won as long as he doesn't get one for -5 or something stupid. So I love these low totals, and I kind of like the Jeff Wilson over rushing yards too. I think it's like 55.5, 56, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think he might smash that too. But that's just more yards. So give me the 10.5. 2 catches gets him there for the most part on this. So I like that one a lot.
All right. Let's continue to look for some other ones here that we got. Get your take on some of the more popular ones from Prop Bet Cheat Sheet over on bettingpros.com. If you haven't already, check it out. Again, bettingpros.com, the Prop Bet Cheat Sheets right under the little NFL tab there. It is glorious. It'll tell you the variance between our projections of Fantasy Pros plus the prop market. And then, of course, where the best place to bet it. Let's see what we've got for this game because I always feel like these in-division games too, sometimes they scare a lot of people off. Do you find that also? Like, because these teams are familiar with each other, there's history.
But it's also where every capper and everybody says, throw out the record books, throw out the blah, 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 whatever.
When you throw out the record book, then
people do it.
You screwed yourself in this particular matchup because, again, they're 6-1, the 49ers. Yeah. Just like the Jaguars always beat the Colts. There's things we can't explain in life. I can't explain that.
The Steelers and Ravens are contractually obligated to not go over 35 points ever.
Yes, that is also one of those things that deal with the devil.
It's weird rivalry things, and I don't know, man. I know the Niners are at home and they have been the better team in this matchup, and maybe this will prove to be once again like look, they just have the Rams number. I just don't like the Niners this year. They do not look fair enough right now.
All right, let's continue on with a handful of these real quick. Cooper Kupp, 94.5 receiving yards. The projection is 84 flat. So you got a difference of 10.5. Again, a very disappointing week last week for Cooper Kupp. So the projections are putting towards the under. I'm not buying that. Are you?
I'm not touching that one. I can tell you for Cooper Kupp, I either bet the over or I don't bet. That's it.
Fair enough. What do you think about Tyler Higbee? He's been seeing a lot of play, 41.5 receiving yards. They're projecting the under 33.5. But what do you think about Tyler Higbee?
I don't like the matchup for him, because you got Fred Warner, one of the best cover linebackers in the league out there. You have Hufanga, who is turning into, mini Troy Polamalu out there. I just don't think stacking up these guys against Higbee is a smart decision. So I'm going to stay away. I mean, well, what did you say it was? 46.5? I mean, he could get the majority of that on like one big catch and then a couple of the catches.
Actually, 41.5. Pardon me.
41.5. Yeah. Like, I don't hate the number, but I don't like the matchup. So for props for me, I have to just see like, no way this guy doesn't get there. Well, unless it's an injury, anybody could get hurt, but I just don't see a way this guy doesn't get to this. And
here's an interesting
one. It doesn't always work. The logic doesn't always work, but I think most of the time it does pay off.
This one's minus 110 on FanDuel. It's Deebo Samuel, 29.5 rushing yards. Projection for the over at 32. But if you look at what he's done so far in the year, week 1, 8 rushes for 52. Granted, it was in the rain. But then against Seattle, 4 rushes for 53. Last week, 5 rushes for just 6 yards against Denver. Again, the Denver air, there's all these things that enter into it. I think this one is a smash, personally. I love the 29 here. The 29.
It's a low total. I consider putting it on the sheet, but I would say it's relatively safe. I'll say that. Right. I'm not putting my money on it, but I'd say it's relatively safe.
London is pointing out to 1 rush with 51 yards. Yes. However,
5 rushes with 6 yards.
5 rushes with 6 yards in the other one.
I mean, you can play that math both ways, of course.
If you look at the Deebo Samuel game log last year of rushing, 29.5 is a pretty good number where he could definitely hit that over. I think it's a good investment.
My mind is always game script. And my game script in this game is the Rams get up and the Niners need to pass, which is why I like Ayuk, why I like Jeff Wilson, why I like a sack for Leonard Floyd, because you're putting that offense in more situations.
100%.
So
London Skiles wants to take the under on that. And London, good luck on that, my friend. London Skiles, by the way, fantastic wrestler name too, if you ever want to get into business. Yeah.
Or stand-up comedian.
London Skiles, you like that?
Yeah,
London Skiles.
I can see a Netflix special with London Skiles.
Everybody gets a Netflix special. You and I have one coming out in the winter time. So as soon as football season's over,
winter of 2045. But and I'll be a ghost hologram, and Joe will still be alive.
Hello, this is Netflix. We'd like to approve your show. All right, that'll do it for us here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, head over to bettingpros.com to check out all of the amazing content we have, the prop bet cheat sheet, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. Like this stream, do it. Subscribe to Betting Pros, youtube.com/bettingpros, and click that little bell till it goes ding for the notifications so you know every single time a piece of amazing content drops here on the channel, like this show or Thursday's show or any of the amazing shows we have. We just did the week 5 look ahead already. It's out there. It's glorious. Go check that out. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
Peace. See you.